Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are setting off on a seriously incredible journey, one that spans thousands of years and crosses some massive cultural divides. We're going to connect ancient Eastern philosophy straight into modern Western thought. We often hear that the East and West are completely different worlds, especially when it comes to how we view reality, the mind, and human existence. But what if I told you that some of the most profound ideas in Western philosophy were actually formulated in India over 2 millennia ago? In this explainer, we're unpacking the core teachings of Buddhism, specifically the Four Noble Truths, and seeing how they dramatically echo in the halls of Western academia. Get ready, because this is going to shift your perspective.
Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly do an ancient Indian prince, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, and a 19th century German existentialist like Friedrich Nietzsche or Arthur Schopenhauer possibly have in common? I mean, you'd probably assume absolutely nothing, right? One is typically associated with serene meditation and spiritual mysticism, while the other is known for intense, rational, and sometimes highly pessimistic intellectual analysis. But the crazy truth is, their fundamental diagnoses of the human condition are astonishingly similar. We're going to challenge those deep-seated assumptions about the East versus West philosophical divide today. And to do that, we first need to understand the bedrock of Buddhist thought.
And that brings us to Act 1, Decoding the Four Truths.
Before we can build our conceptual bridge across the globe, we've got to lay down our foundation. We need to look at this sequential matrix, the Four Noble Truths. These are literally the absolute core tenets of Buddhism. It's the lens through which this entire philosophy views reality. Traditionally, these are identified as the Buddha's very first teaching after his awakening, and they lay out a super clear progression. First up, there's dukkha, which points to the unsatisfactory nature of existence. Second is samudaya, the origin of this unsatisfactoriness, which is tied directly to craving or thirst. Third is nirodha, the cessation, meaning the realization that this craving can actually be stopped. And finally, marga, the path or the way to achieve that cessation, often known as the Noble Eightfold Path. Put them all together, and they form a complete conceptual framework that introduces how we experience the world, why we struggle, and how we can actually find release.
Now let's zoom in on that first truth for a second, because it gets misunderstood all the time. Dukkha is almost always translated simply as suffering in English, but actually that's not quite right. It's a way broader concept. It means unsatisfactoriness, pain, or even friction. Think about the etymology here. It traced it back to words meaning a bad axle hole in a wheel. Imagine driving a cart where the wheel just doesn't fit the axle properly. There's this constant underlying bumpiness, this uneasiness to the whole ride. That's exactly what the Buddha was pointing out. Transient existence inherently causes this persistent friction. It's not just about acute physical pain. It's the fact that even our absolute best, most